I did look at the information being relayed to my car navigation system. But, well, I'm originally from an inland area, so I didn't have the common sense that there's a danger of a tsunami after an earthquake happens. It did look normal. What's it called? Mob psychology? There were lots of people there, so it seemed like a safe place. It didn't seem like a tsunami was going to hit. I don't think anyone knew.
While I was filming, I still didn't think about the tsunami. A fire truck was driving around the area, telling people to evacuate. The local people began to head for higher ground.
At that time, the first thing the local people did after the earthquake was leave their houses. The nearest place to evacuate is that hill over there. Okay then, let's go. That's the kind of thing I heard. The people who had made it to the top of the hill were looking out towards the sea, pointing at the ocean and asking, "Is that a tsunami?" They were urging people below to hurry up and evacuate to the hill as fast as possible.
When I was in my car, there were a lot of people still walking. I opened the window and yelled that there was a tsunami coming.
When I looked at the river, the water rose up so fast. It was like it was next to me. It all happened so quickly. The river flowing backwards and the tsunami overflowing into the city.
From the point where I saw the tsunami myself to the point where I got to the top and looked down at the town, it was completely different. There was so much water, it felt like it all happened in an instant. The sound of buildings crashing against each other, the sound of wooden structures crunching. There's just no way to say it. It's difficult to comprehend as a reality. Was it fear? It was like a film.
The people who had been calmly working just an hour earlier, the people who lived here, in just seconds, all of that was gone.
在大津波警報が発令中です。沿岸住民は直ちに高台。
徐々に水が
Then the water started rising. But I still thought it would be okay because of the levee. But as time passed, the water rose above the levee.
私は昭和35年
I saw what happened during the Chile earthquake, and all I could do is flash back to those images. I knew this was going to be bad.
もうどんどん水が上がるから
I don't really remember the sounds as the water rose up,
覚えてないんですけど
but I remember thinking how much I wish it would
そ
stop.
んなふうに思いましたね。
住民は
ダメだ
高台に避難し
おいおいおい
There's nothing you could do but pray to God.
で自分たちではどうにも
We couldn't do anything in the face of such immense power.
うまくなりますから
There was nothing to do but yell and scream.
泣きながら叫びながら
We couldn't contain ourselves.
抑えるのにはじっとはしてられない。
おい止めてくれ止めてくれ止めてくれ
そしてまた車
Then I
で
saw people in cars trying to reverse away and getting washed down the street by the water.
見ました
I saw terrible things like that. I knew it was going to get worse.
で
As the water got higher,
水が高く
houses and people just got swept up and washed away.
壊されてい
It
く
was incredibly sad.
大変悲しく思いました。
何が防波堤だよおよ何が防潮堤だよ
自宅がやっぱり一番心配で
I was worried about my home, so I watched from some stone stairs nearby.
ここから見ると
It was strange. When I looked towards the sea, I couldn't see the shape of the waves.
波の形が
As the houses and buildings were being destroyed, dust flew in the air. All you could see is dust.
埃しか見えないんですよ。
It wasn't that I wanted to shoot a video, rather that I wanted to record the events. I never thought the tsunami would come to this point. Then I saw my house and car washed away.
流される
The neighborhood was rapidly engulfed.
周りもだんだん埋まってくる。でやっと念願の
I couldn't believe it. It had only been 3 years since I finally managed to build my own home. It was surreal.
Everything we had built just got washed away.
建物とかもう全てが流されるわけですよね。まあそれを
Just looking at that was frightening.
もう怖いなって感じです
It's hard to describe the fear I felt.
その怖さですよ。
I just don't know how to say
どう
it.
でしょうね。よくわからない。
今まで味わったことないショックだから
I had never experienced this kind of shock.
何と言ったらいい
I
か
don't know what to say. It's hard to describe, really.
Even though we saw the car passing by to warn us, we didn't think the tsunami would actually reach us because we lived quite far from the ocean and we were on the hill.
I already knew that huge earthquakes could cause a tsunami, so I knew I had to evacuate as soon as possible. As I was going up the stairs that led to the high school, I saw some people filming. They said they could see the tsunami from there. Then I saw a dust cloud, which meant that houses were being destroyed by the tsunami. I knew a lot of damage was being done, and I tried to capture the series of events.
Because my family has a particular connection to tsunami, when this tsunami came, I decided I wanted to record it for posterity. So I climbed the stairs halfway up the building and started taking photos. All this I saw through the viewfinder. When I looked at the train station, there were buildings just flowing over the top of it. Where would it stop? I still had it in my head that my house would survive, but it just kept pouring in. Is it still coming?
When I looked, water and debris were flowing over the tracks and through the station. I hurried in through the back door and went to get my daughter. I yelled at her, "We have to run!"
Most people were so shocked and speechless, while others were becoming hysterical, as their family members hadn't come out of their houses when the tsunami hit.
The first thing that got sucked up was my shed. I thought, it's just a shed, oh well. At least the house is okay. And just as I thought that, the house went with it. The things I was seeing were completely unimaginable.
When we started running, we assumed that we would be able to outrun it. But what happened was that the wave completely swallowed us up. I was desperate. Fortunately for me, soon after I was swallowed by the wave, a roof drifted towards me and went under my body, as if it was trying to pick me up.
So
I was on top of the roof, and the wave took me all the way to the high school. People who were by the school saw me and pulled me down. I thought she really just barely escaped.
助かったの。
まあ大体の大方のですね。
Most of the residents were already at the emergency evacuation centers. I was on the fire truck and was directing people over the loudspeaker.
避難誘導しながら。ノムさん早く車あるぞ。一段落ついたところで。
After a while, I drove towards the levee and checked the water level from the top of the floodgate. When I got to the top of the levee, I saw the water had already receded a lot. From there, I called out for people to run away.
あとそこから逃げろ逃げろという感じですね。すぐ見えた。ほらほら、ずいぶん入ってきた。ゴタゴタ入ってきた。ほら。すごい。
Once the waves hit the bottom part of the levee, the water shot up the side very suddenly.
ああ、数前の船流れだ。その時間的な余裕っていうのは本当の5秒。
I probably only had 5 seconds or so to get away.
なので私もあの時点で、あと20秒。
If I got on the truck 20 seconds later, I don't think I'd be here today.
今ここで腰インタビュー受けていないとは思いますね。スピーカー使って、早く誘導しなきゃならないなというふうな。
I knew my duty was to direct people to evacuate, but I didn't turn off the camera.
その辺今から考えると。
I'm actually not really sure why I kept filming.
いたのかっていうのは自分自身、明確な答えは見出せないと言います。逃げんな、堤防越えから。ダメダメダメダメ。堤防越えから。堤防越えてきたから。堤防越えた。で、堤防がとりあえず5メートルぐらいの。
We had a levee that was 5 meters tall that we thought could protect against a tsunami. We based all our evacuation areas and exercises on this assumption.
As
a firefighter, as the father of a child, I can never forgive the fact that I let children die. I let elderly die. I can never forget.
自分の中でも。すごい。ダメだ、電線も危ねえ。早く早く早く早く早く早く早く早く早く早く早く地震の直後にはもう津波
We knew a tsunami was coming. We could feel it.
感じていました。ですんで
It suddenly got really silent.
急にこうなんかじわっときましてね。
It's hard to imagine such a sudden silence.
こう静かになるっていう。
It was like all sound had disappeared.
そんなこう不気味さを。
I remember how ominous it was.
It seemed like my husband knew the tsunami was coming after the earthquake. After the Chile earthquake, the tsunami was only 1 meter tall. I think he thought the tsunami this time would be the same or a bit higher, so he was interested in filming. He likes to shoot video and carries his camera all the time.
その川の学校のそばに我々が
There was a river nearby, the Okawa River.
川があるわけです。でここも
It's normally very calm and doesn't change much.
そんなに変化のない川なんですけども。
When we saw it then, you could see the riverbed and the water was pulling back.
見えてきたと。
大津波警報が出されております。
で、消防の方でしょうかね。
A fire truck came around, and I heard them yelling at people to evacuate.
避難するようにというこの声が入ってたのと。
地震から40分ぐらいですかね。津波が来た。
The tsunami came about 40 minutes after the earthquake.
市場の方ぐる。
So I went around the fish market towards the riverbank and started filming on my mobile phone.
で、携帯で撮ってました。川の
The levee was about 3 meters high.
3メーター近くあると
I didn't think the tsunami would ever be big enough to come over that.
思わないから、
So I kept filming.
普通に撮ってたんだよね。
これほどまで大きくなる津波だと思う。
I didn't think it was going to be such a big tsunami.
今度それが大川の
On the Okawa River, there were small pleasure boats that were moored.
その船が係留されてはいたんですね。
The boats got pushed along
しながら
and made a crunching sound when they collided with each other.
日本の人は危ないよ。危ないよ。
そして来た来たって言ってるうちに国道をトラックが2台。
When we saw the water approaching, it flooded the national road as 2 trucks were passing.
その後が
Then the water just kept coming.
それがどんどん押し寄せてきて。
その時は
When I saw overturned boats coming towards me,
ひっくり返って流れてきた時
I knew something wasn't right.
ちょっとやばいかなと。
あと
Everyone around was yelling, "Hurry up, hurry up, run!"
もう
本当なんですか？本当？いやいや、来る。
I thought that we were in danger.
体が今度一番だ。
So I shouted to my husband, "You have to come to higher ground."
高いところに。そのうち
I saw electric wires being cut and falling down.
これでは大変。
It was scary, and I shouted that everyone needed to come higher.
I was
running with the camera and looking back, running backwards and filming while I evacuated. I was heading to the emergency staircase at the school.
その非常階段をめがけてかさ上げする堤防っていうんですかね、水かさを食い止めるような。
It was right near the river, and I went and looked over, and I could see the water rising up over the bank.
I thought I might be in trouble here when the wave came over the levee.
その瞬間。
Still, I wasn't too worried because I thought it was only a little bit of water.
超えるぐらいかなと。
But I was wrong,
ところがとんでもなかった。
since quite a lot of water suddenly gushed over. I thought, this is pretty bad. But there's nothing I could do about it. I was amazed and scared by the force of nature. I was on my bike, and I was heading towards the nearby high school.
You weren't just running, you were running for your life. Just as it spilled over, I began climbing the staircase. I kept climbing while filming behind me. It happened so quickly. If I'd gone any slower, I don't think I would have made it.
There was too much water, and I couldn't get to the school buildings. So I just climbed up a tree.
Watching from the school, you could see our homes in the distance, disappearing under the waves. As it rose higher, you could see people who weren't able to escape. You could see cars just get completely swallowed up by the waves. We were really afraid that the school would get washed away too. All we could do was watch. We were just shocked, speechless. It felt like the end. We had lost everything.
I felt the terrible power of nature. I was not expecting that nature could be this dreadful and that it could change so much. Normally, even the sea can get rough sometimes, like during storms, but we never had such damage, houses being destroyed. We could not do anything this time. All we could do was watch what was happening. It was so horrible. I don't know what to say.
Everyone was looking in the direction of the heli pier and screaming. For a second, I had forgotten that I had my camera with me, but I quickly remembered. I used the zoom function to see what people were looking at and saw waves of water. I knew straight away that it was a tsunami.
津波っていうか水しぶきがバーッて上がってて、ああ津波だっていう風になって。俺が見たものは車の塊がもう。
I saw piles of cars being swallowed by the muddy water and coming towards us very quickly. It happened really fast. To be honest, I didn't expect the water to come all the way to where I was. There were many buildings between where the cars were and me, so I thought it would stop.
建物は結構建ってたし、想像してたものと比べるっていうよりはもう本当何も想像しなかった。
It had never occurred to me that the tsunami would reach us.
なんていうんですかね。
It looked surreal.
現実のものの
It was like watching a film.
っていうのが本当に
I honestly couldn't believe it.
心境ですね。はい。
で比較的大きい道路で街中でしたので。
It was a big road in the middle of town. You would never have realized it was actually a coastal area. You could say I was naive, but even just before it hit, there were police out directing traffic.
普通に誘導してましたし。
やっぱ車が多く流されてましたね。走ってる最中の車。
I could see the tsunami coming towards those cars stuck in traffic.
まあ大丈夫かなってみんな。
I was really worried about them, but there was nothing I could do.
しててもまあどうしようもなかったんで。
Some people were screaming as loud as they could to warn the people in the cars down below,
たくさんあって。
but they couldn't have heard them when I think about it now.
今思えばね。
実際津波を
The first time I realized a tsunami was going to hit was when I actually saw it myself.
でバック
I looked in my rearview mirror
見たらもう
and saw an even larger wave than the one in front of me.
なのでさあどうしよう
I didn't know what to do.
そうですね。車から、逃げる人もいました。
People were running out of their cars. I suppose that's about it.
それぐらいですかね。
I think everyone was really panicking.
ですね。かなり。
It was incredibly quick.
近かったですね。津波がもう車に通って。
It probably took only 10 or 20 seconds from the moment when the water hit my car to the car being washed away.
後ろから津波ドンと当たった時に車がもう進み出してるんですよね。
幹線道路を走っていた車も今流されて先ほど流されていく様子が分かりました。海岸や川岸の付近が大変危険です。見る限りもう数キロの範囲で遡上していることが予想されます。ですから海から
There's video of a woman being washed away right before my eyes.
非常に危険なのですぐに周辺の方は避難してください。もし
多分死ぬかもしれない。
At that time, I thought I was going to die.
ですけれども。
It was kind of strange, but I didn't really feel panicky myself.
冷静だ。
I was quite calm. I thought, that's how things go, so I might as well do as much as I can. I decided just to sit inside and wait.
もし車が
I figured that even if my car got swept up by the tsunami, it might land in some place and I might be able to float to safety.
車がこう走ってるところ
I saw many cars being swallowed by the water and swept away,
ですけど、
but there wasn't anything we could do.
なかなかと
We even talked amongst ourselves if there was a way to help, but
実際どうし
nothing could be done.
みんな仲間とも言ってたんですけど、
避難する
いつでも、
I had it in my mind that I'd use the car to protect me as long as possible. The car would float to somewhere safe. Or, if that was impossible, when the opportunity came, I'd jump out and float to safety. I figured I'd have to swim for it. I remember it being completely dark and the water pouring in. And then I escaped from the car. But underwater, I couldn't figure out which way was up. It was probably just a minute, but I swam around there in the water, and I thought I was going to die. Finally, my face hit the surface, and I could breathe.
I ran because I wanted to live, of course. My cousin had a son who was a town council member, and unfortunately he lost his life in the town hall. It's so difficult to see them mourn, and I almost feel sorry that I lived while their son died.
It felt like we were left with nothing and simply just powerless. That's the feelings I had in my chest. Right around 6 p.m., it started to snow. It was too cold to be outside. We had all gone back inside to the classrooms to warm up. Right around that time, we could see fire. It looked like all of Tsunami was drenched in flames. Even from the top of the school, it seemed like we were right in front of it. It was like being in hell. We thought any people who had survived the tsunami would surely be killed by the flames instead. We thought it was the end of Tsunami.
There were over 40 people from our neighborhood that lost their lives. It was also very hard to see women who had lost their children. They knew that their children were gone, but many just couldn't let go of hope that they were hiding somewhere in the mountains or another safe place. They spent their nights staying up waiting for their children to come back. That was really the toughest thing to watch.
Cars had rolled onto their sides and on top of buildings. There was an incredible amount of rubble, and it was difficult to tell what kind of buildings they were from. Mountains of debris that were far taller than me. In places far from the sea, there were fish that had been washed up from fish farms and such.
養殖施設から流されてきたチョウザメとか
The area was just scattered with things that didn't belong there.
っていうような光景
That's when I first understood the damage a tsunami could cause.
を認識したのかなと、
I could hardly believe it.
信じられなかったですね。
I had never felt such hatred towards the sea. I saw later that there were 3 dead bodies where my house used to be. I knew all 3 of them. One was a firefighter. I thought this was some kind of sign, and that after everything was cleaned up, I should hold a mass for them. There were about 40 emergency evacuation centers that got washed away. These evacuation centers were designated 50 years ago, when people assumed a tsunami on the scale of the one from the Chile earthquake would come. The tsunami this time was much larger than anyone expected. People probably thought they were safe there, but instead, they died. So when I think about people who have lost their family or loved ones in the evacuation centers, I feel extreme sorrow.
The damage this time was really immense, but we have to stand back up and stand taller than we did before. We should be mentally prepared for that, living where we do. Building houses, building factories. Everyone knows doing this puts us at risk. A disaster is going to come, but when it does come, we have to rebuild. I feel very strongly about that.
We have nothing now. We receive relief supplies, but I don't have a sense of value for the things I really need. I do remember that I used to have this and that. But right now, I don't think about specific items I want. I just think about things I need day by day.
Tsunami 来てます! Tsunami 来てます!
Humans are strong. The instinct to live is strong. I think the city will undoubtedly recover. The shopping streets, the jobs people had, everyone is doing their best daily to ensure this happens. No one knows how long it will take, but I have no doubt that it will be an even better town than it was before.
それはちょっとね想像つかないんですよっていうのはね
I don't know what's going to happen to our town.
つまり三陸町っていうのは
We don't have a lot of land in Sanriku.
みんなその近くの
And people are always moving away to nearby towns.
引っ越しして行ってるんですよ
So that means young people are leaving our town as well.
子供たちも一緒にもう離れたもんでね復興って言ってもお年寄り
Can we really rebuild with only elderly people?
ないのでねちょっと
It's difficult to imagine.
People are asking, so what happens now? People have some belongings now, things they've received from others, but there are still questions about work or how long we can all live in this temporary housing. When we leave the housing, what kind of lifestyle will we end up living?
やはりうちもないしこれから
I have no home and I'm almost 70 years old.
年代になりまして貯蓄も
I don't have any savings and it's difficult to think about what I'll do from here.
どうしようかなっていうのが毎日
It's something I worry about every day. I think everyone who lost their homes feels the same way.
They say a place like Tsunami will take at least 10 years to recover.
大多分が気仙沼市内は水産加工の仕事ですよ
Most of the people of Kesenuma make their living through fishing. Their factories have been washed away, and only a few have been restored. It will take many years for all of them to be rebuilt.
They say that the elderly speak of the past, and youth speak of the future. That's what we have to embrace. Older people are always going on about the way things were, but we have to think about how to build a new Kesenuma. We have to focus on the new. Only a few days ago, I had a dream. It wasn't about the tsunami, but about a flood that reached up into the mountains. I was trying to run away from the water by going up stone stairs and climbing trees. In the dream, it's only me running. I left everyone behind and was only evacuating myself. I think, from now on, I must live having the weight of those lives on my shoulders. I have responsibility for that, and responsibility to build a new town here.
ボランティアの方々もまだまだマンパワーとして
Volunteers are helping us with the clearing up.
してくれてますけれども、いわゆる
But there's yet to be any kind of support or care for people's mental health. Amongst the people I know, there are probably a dozen or so experiencing trauma. This is where I was born and raised. When I go up to the mountains, I realize they don't suit me. Tsunami is where I can see the Pacific. It's between the mountains and the sea. Yes, I'd really like to stay here. The sea is beautiful, but still scary. I don't know how much time I need till I don't feel scared. Seeing the things I saw during the disaster, I can't help it. But I know it's nonsense to hold a grudge against the sea.
Our town was covered with water and completely swallowed by the powerful tsunami. I honestly couldn't comprehend what it was. Was it retribution? Because God was angry at us for being too happy? In my mind, I kept trying to make sense of what happened.
My feelings about the sea haven't changed, and I think it's normally a very kind thing. It helps us, and it has helped us for years. I don't feel like I despise it. From this disaster, I think, perhaps it's us who made the mistake, living in an area vulnerable to tsunami. But at the same time, we need to think of ways to prevent this kind of thing from happening again.
I can never forget about the fear of the tsunami, but I like the sea. That hasn't changed.
Our boat was washed away, but we are going to buy a new one.
So we'll keep our relationship with the sea.
We must keep the relationship. I think there's no other way.